So the police are absolutely out of control. They don't care about truth or justice. They don't care about protecting anybody. Except for their corporate paymasters, big banks, politicians, other psychopaths, right? The whole crowd is just a bunch of psychopaths. And all serial killers are psychopaths, but not all psychopaths are serial killers. A lot of psychopaths are able to function day to day. And in fact, in capitalist America, being a psychopath is a valuable trait, right? Mitt Romney can go to a business and buy them out and fire everybody, steal their pensions and shit, and not give a shit. And that's horrible for those workers at that factory, but for business, it's a good thing, right? Wipe out the fucking bullshit, mechanize it all, ship your plant to fucking Mexico, make a ton of money. That's good for business. Even, you know, to be a heartless bastard is a being a heartless bastard assists in capitalism. Being a heartless bastard actually makes capitalism, you know, that's what they want, right? In capitalists, you want a motherfucker that can make those hard decisions, right? He's tough, and he makes those hard decisions and does what needs to be done. Nah, that's bullshit. He fucking does whatever the fuck he wants, and he ruins everybody else's life. But they're all psychopaths. The judges, the police, the mayors, the politicians, they don't empathize with other people. And just go to court. I mean, anytime you go to court, you'll see how they, you know, the people line up like they're cattle herds just waiting for the slaughter, right? So they don't give a fuck if they're guilty or not guilty. The cop fucking issued something, you're here in court, so you're clearly guilty. As soon as you walk in the fucking door, Gouth County, they got fuckers right in the very beginning that tell you you're fucking guilty as soon as you walk in. These motherfuckers, you know, they want to touch you and put their hands all over you, frisk, stop and frisk. What the fuck is that type of shit? Stop and frisk? Motherfucker, that's sexual assault. I don't want your hands on me. I don't want your hands on me. Just because I'm walking, you thinking that you could just fucking touch and put your hands on me? And what are you looking for? A gun? Don't you have a gun right there on the side of your pouch, right there on your belt? Don't you have a gun? Well, they're hypocrites. They're fucking hypocrites. They don't abide by the rule of law. The rule of law says nobody's above the law. In democracies, all functioning democracies have rule of law. And rule of law means no one's above the law. So a murder is a murder. An assault is an assault. Robbery is robbery. Rape is rape. It doesn't matter if you got a badge or a gun. It doesn't matter if you're a police officer or a citizen. If you do the crime, you should do the time, right? That's the rule of law. But that's not how it works. Not at all. Police officers be driving 90 miles an hour. They be talking on their cell phones, be texting. You know, they do whatever the fuck they want to do. They punch people, they hit people, they molest people, they sexually assault people, they're frisking people, and they murder. They kill, you know, and they kill for the most trivial things. Tara Culp Wrestler, ThinkProgress.org, she reports police harassment in Louisiana may be increasing the number of people dying from AIDS. So now they're fucking spreading the fucking AIDS epidemic, right? Let's just give everybody fucking STDs. Fucking cops, man. So according to a new report, Human Rights Watch, aggressive police harassment in New Orleans has directly undermined the city's efforts to prevent and treat HIV infections. Despite the fact that Louisiana has one of the highest rates of HIV and AIDS in the nation, in fact, the number of people dying from AIDS in the state is more than double the national average. The report claims it's chosen punishment over public health for the marginalized communities for risk of infection, such as sex workers and drug users. So, specifically, law enforcement officials crack down on prostitution in a way that HRW believes is actually encouraging the spread of HIV. New Orleans is so intent on identifying potential sex workers that it allows cops to prosecute loitering for prostitution. Incredibly vague statute results in arbitrarily targeting people in public. Officers randomly stop people who they deem suspicious and they search them for evidence of prostitution, i.e. condoms. So if you're walking on the street, standing at a corner, and you got a condom on you, they'll say you're a prostitute, right? That's paraphernalia, right? For prostitution. And if you got a condom on you, that'd be enough for an arrest. Right? So now what? They can't walk around with fucking condoms? They're still gonna do the thing, right? Prostitution's the oldest profession. It's been around since the proto Adam and Eve. So you're not gonna stop the thing. It's also libertarian stance. Two consenting adults can do as the fuck as they please. What does a cop have to do with anything? But the cops are because they're cracking down on prostitution. They're not having condoms, and so the spread of AIDS and HIV is happening even more now in New Orleans and Louisiana. So that's fucking great. Cops are spreading fucking AIDS. Louisiana fucking cops spreading fucking AIDS, right? Thanks, Louisiana cops. Glad you fucking got our backs. You ain't got our fucking backs. You're a corporate man. You're a fucking king's man. You only do what the governor or the mayor or whatever fucking politician's in office or your police chief, and that's it. You don't give a shit about us. You're there to protect them, not us. Another thing in this Birmingham, Alabama case, so there's this man, and actually they don't even mention the names of the 5 police officers, and they do that all the time. Police officers are completely invisible in the media. You cannot see the police officers. They don't write their names in the articles because in order to get access to all these assaults that the police officers are doing, you got to buddy up with them, and then when you're buddy up with them, they'll give you good stories about shit that they've done to other people, so that gives you, you know, you don't want to burn that bridge. It's a good source. He's in the middle of the shit, going to be seeing shit all the fucking time. And so generally they don't print that motherfucker's name, or they don't get that motherfucker's name, and they just say, here's what this guy, they hurt this guy, and that's just how it is. LMPD has no police review authority board. In Cincinnati, Ohio, Timothy Thomas, 16-year-old, in 2001, had too many parking tickets, and a cop was investigating and asking him questions and shit, and Timothy Thomas takes off running down the alley. Now, Stephen Rhodes, this fat fucking piece of shit, you know, pig, he doesn't want to chase after, shit, I just fucking knew his name, and I just forgot it. So, in Cincinnati, Timothy Thomas, so he didn't want to chase 16-year-old Timothy Thomas, you know, a frequent fucking parking violator, right? Keeps on parking in the wrong spots. He didn't want to chase him, so he's in the middle of the alley, and while he's running, fucking Stephen Rhodes, pop. Now, Timothy Thomas is dead. This is 2001, riots happened, right? For 3 days, people are setting dumpsters on fire, fucking throwing rocks at the cops, just fucking going all pissed off at the motherfuckers. After those riots had happened in 2001, 2 hugely significant things happened for Cincinnati. They got a black mayor, right? A black mayor was elected. I want to say Fuller, Curtis Fuller, but I can't, not 100% on that. And then you also have the police review board. They had a police review board that was set up. So if there is any charges of police brutality, then that you could go to a citizen complaint authority board and put in your complaint. And while 1 or 2 complaints might not be able to get somebody, if they're not big enough or if you don't have enough evidence, if you can get, you know, 20 complaints on one motherfucker doing all this different shit, that's something. So that I feel more comfortable with the citizen complaint board who checks the police than the police just being a rogue military force doing whatever the fuck they please, as long as they can convince. You know, if you're in a county, Jefferson County is a little bit different animal because it's a city-county consolidated thing. It's a Class A city or Class 1. It's the biggest city. But in a regular county, the sheriff and the judge executive and the county attorneys are the most, you know, that's the trifecta. That's the fucking power triumvirate. And so you have those 3 main people. But if you could convince those 3 people to let you do whatever the fuck you want to do willy-nilly, you can do whatever you want. In fact, some county attorneys feel like they defend the police. They, oh, I'm supposed to defend them. You defend justice. You defend righteousness. You defend if it's right or wrong. Not just defend anybody. Just, I mean, that's like, okay. So, they, police get also, you know, do whatever they want to do. Here in, 5 police officers are fired in Birmingham, Alabama, and what had happened was this guy's on a police chase. So, you know, that's not good. He's endangering all these people's lives 100 miles per hour. But eventually the guy flips his van over off the interstate, and as he flipped the van over, he pops out the car. You know, he slips right out the window. It's actually amazing. There's a video of it, so check it out on the dash cam. And the guy, he's unconscious. He didn't even realize what had happened until afterwards. And what had happened was when he's flung outside the car, all these 5 police officers just fucking wolf pack him, right? That's a cop thing where they just fucking swarm in with as many fucking cops as possible to, you know, minimize any type of resistance. So they learning how to gain, you know, jump people by fucking mob. That's what the police are learning. They're calling it wolf packing, right? So if they can call it, I don't know. If they can say that, it's, I don't know how they would even get away with that type of shit, because you're jumping a motherfucker. That's what you're doing. And I've seen them wolf pack over like just tiny shit, just over fucking petty little tiny shit. Regardless, guy flips out of the van. This is Birmingham, Alabama, 2008, January. And it's a high-speed chase. I think it was like a DUI stop or something, maybe possible drunk driving. And so he's on the interstate. He flips his car over. He's flung out, and, and he's completely unconscious. He's unconscious, lying on the ground. You got 5 cops wolf-packing him, beating the shit out of his lifeless, unconscious fucking body. Not lifeless. He is still alive, but he wasn't breathing. He wasn't moving. He was unconscious, just lying there. And they're just beating and beating and beating. And then about a minute, 2 minutes later, they start stopping. They're kind of like, shit, this motherfucker's just lying here. He ain't doing nothing. It just shows, you know, cops aren't supposed to administer the justice right there. That's what you do when you go into court. If the court had ordered for his ass to be kicked, then that's what we do. But we're a civilized society, right? We don't believe in violence. We don't believe in assaults. So that's a crime. We don't believe in those types of those. That's a crime. You cannot administer justice. You're not. The cops are not the judge, jury, and executioner. The cops are like the people on the scene, the witness or whatever. They're not the motherfuckers who actually administer the justice. That's the fucking judge, right? That's the judge, and then either a fine or fucking jail time or, you know, community service, whatever the fuck it is they come up with. You wear a sign, you know, stand on a corner or some shit. So that's what they did. And what's awesome actually about this case is you have 5 police officers who was beating the shit out of Anthony Warner. And this is January 2008. None of these names were released. But I'm not mad about this because the police chief and the mayor was disgusted. They hated the video. They hated the way this had made their town look. And like I said, Birmingham, Alabama, right? So this is fucking... they fucked with Martin Luther King, right? Alabama, you know Alabama, they got a history of fucking racism and shit. 5 white police officers beating the shit out of fucking, you know, a black dude. So, you know, like, it's fucking 92, fucking Rodney King all over again. But he's just fucking hitting, you know, a fucking lifeless or a unconscious body. But eventually, the mayor and the police chief fire all 5 of them. They said there were 70 years combined veteran experience, and they fired them all. Fuck you, get the fuck out of here. We don't need that type of shit. They fucked up their whole careers in about 10 fucking seconds. You don't beat the shit out of unconscious fucking people. Seriously, if you're oppressor, molester, and you're such a psycho and a sadistic fucking piece of shit that you can hit somebody that's unconscious, that's like a sleeping fucking person. That's like the Barry fucking Corday killing all them fucking kittens in Ohio. If you're able to do shit like that, you're able to do any fucking thing. You have no fucking, nothing stops you. You can beat up a fucking corpse. You can beat up a zombie. You can beat up a fucking cadaver. Motherfucker could have been dead. You're just pounding the shit out of a fucking dead body. They didn't give a fuck. They didn't check to see if he was okay or living or breathing or anything. They just wanted to fucking do him damage, right? How dare you? That's some bullshit. So good job for Larry Langford. Good job for the police chief. They did what was right. They fired the 5 police officers. None of the articles, none of the people fucking say who these guys are. I think that's important. They're the ones assaulting. We need to know. It's in the public interest to know who these fuckers are. Assault is wrong. Murder is wrong. Rape is wrong. If you wear a badge and your uniform and you're protected by the state, that doesn't mean you should get a carte blanche, free fucking credit card to commit as much crime as you want. That's not what that means. As a police officer, you have to, you know, rise above it. You set the example. You need to chase someone and pursue them. Once you got them down and locked up, what you need to fucking hit them for? Because you mad about the shit? You mad about the shit, so you're going to rough them up? That's not fucking justice. For better or worse, the police are the example. And if the police are showing us that if they're hitting people or beating people up just for disrespect, for small petty shit, the guy who slams the guy in the fucking head, he says he don't spit. That's what he yelled. Don't spit. Guy didn't spit. Guy actually says, hey, you're a gentleman and I like you guys, right? Excuse me, gentlemen. And then after he says, excuse me, gentlemen, all of that probably pissed him off even more, right? A hothead fucking fascist oppressor. Oh, he couldn't get, you know, couldn't get any more mad about that. And then he says something, and the guy goes, pff, and then he slams his head against the wall and says, don't spit. Pff, pff, pff. Shit, man. Pff. That's spitting? Ah, give me a fucking break. That's fucking spitting. That's not spitting. Nothing comes out. You can't say, you know, somebody's spitting if they don't actually fucking spit. Like, he was just looking for a fucking reason. Any fucking reason was good enough. He heard, pff, and that was it. He didn't like the disrespect. Such a tiny fucking little petty thing. Cops don't like when you look in their eyes. Cops are just shitty fucking human beings. They're bad fucking people. So that was Charles Broderick, who's hitting this guy against the wall. He too was put into jail. So again, these are good stories, not just because they're victims, but because the people are finally standing up and getting the justice that they want. So that Florida corrections officer in Marion County, Florida, Charles Broderick, after he hit that guy in the head, he goes to jail. He only goes to jail for 18 minutes. Sure, but he's being charged with assault, and he's going to have to go through the criminal justice system and see what happens with him. And then the Birmingham, Alabama, all 5 police officers that was beating the shit out of an unconscious body, they're all fucking fired. So we the people do have power. We can change things if we have enough evidence and we put the pressure on.